Hello there, welcome to bitparade.co.uk's first look or first play at Splatoon. This it's a stress test that Nintendo have been running of the multiplayer, I guess, of the servers. Is the only thing that's in there that's single player is the tutorial and how to play it, and that it's nothing to really write home about or anything. It's very basic. I am talking over a recorded video of this. I was hoping to do something a little different. That's not that's not panned out. So I'm just talking over it, and I don't know what part you're going to be looking at. I think we're going to start with what was my second game, but I can't make reference to it too much because I don't know quite where I'm going to start with this. But yeah, so the game, it's essentially a first-person shooter. Oh, sorry, I guess a third-person shooter, but multiplayer shooter, where the idea is rather than to kill your opponents, although that is also part of the idea, is to paint as much of the level as you possibly can. I was favouring a kind of machine gun, and my sub-weapon was throwing grenades. Throwing grenades uses a lot of paint, and that's the other thing I wasn't expecting was you have. Sorry, I'm watching the video. You are limited by how much you can use. Then you have to go back into the paint. So as you're painting the level, you might as well be shooting pretty much as you're moving along, unless the area is already covered. In which case, you should be under the paint. You should be turned into a squid, going underneath the ground and going into the paint, and that will help fill up your paint meter, and you'll be unseen by the enemy. It's a good thing, but maybe more importantly, you move quicker, which may not seem like a huge advantage, but getting across the level if you've just died, it does make a big difference. When you kill enemies, there is a value to it. Obviously, they then start back at their base, so they're not making progress going forward. But they also explode in paint, and it's your paint. Quite why it's your paint, not their paint. You think they'd be full of their paint, because they are full of their paint, but or ink, I guess, rather than paint. Whoever, well, whatever. So I guess that's a reward for killing people. The demo of this stress test is just the what's called turf war mode, which is paint as much as you can. I don't know what the other modes are. I apologise. I didn't watch the Nintendo Direct, but I haven't watched or seen a huge amount about Splatoon. I don't know. I'm not a huge multiplayer shooter person. I don't dislike them. I quite liked. I had good fun with Titanfall, but again, I played that as part of the beta that was out on the PC, and then not a lot after that. And Destiny as well. I played a bit of it. Destiny I played a lot of, many hours of Destiny, but I only played chunks of the multiplayer. I'm not not a huge fan of this sort of stuff. I don't mind it, but I did used to play a lot of Quake 3 back in the day, so that's my base level. If it's not Quake 3, it's not good enough. And yeah, so this obviously isn't, but it's something a little different. What else to talk about with it? So I have there's 2 levels I think in this, and I think the first 2 you'll see are the same one. I think, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's 3 levels. Yeah, there's 3 levels. The warehouse levels I liked. Oh no, maybe, yeah, it is 2. I just started from the other side. Okay. Yeah, so that seems to be there's various different starting points. It feels like you could have had a 4-player mode, or 4-team mode. I'm assuming there's reasons, in terms of how much the game can handle, or how much the console can handle, as to why that's not the case. But there's multiple different colours. So the video I'm watching at the minute, which is roughly be where you are presumably, it's orange against blue, I think there is a purple as well, and I forget what the other colour was, but there's 4 different colours, and on the other map, which is more sort of causeways and sort of walkways, I guess, where you can fall into the water. You can fall off the level, as I did in a video. Yeah, so that feels like there's multiple start points, multiple spawn points, and you could have had 4 teams and had it more chaotic. So certain levels might work better with that, but I don't think it's going to happen. Which is a bit of a shame, like I say, but I'd be up for playing that. A kind of faction mode or something. Yeah, so I like the trying to remember what started me on this phone now, or what this conversation. So yeah, so you play as teams of 4, and like I say, ultimately the aim is to paint as much as you can. The gamepad has your progress on it. I never looked at the gamepad whilst I was fighting. Too much is happening, and you can get snuck up on as well. Despite the camera being pulled back a little bit from you, you can like, people are very vulnerable from behind. That was a real issue for me in terms of if someone's coming from behind me, you are kind of helpless, which is, I guess, the way it should be. But yeah, I had it set to maybe the controls might be a starting point. So you can change them, but the default is the motion of the gamepad. So you tilt the gamepad up and down to aim. I didn't know how to change the controls, so that's how that's what I ended up with. And I don't know. I got used to it, and I was doing really well. You'll see from the video. I actually I cut out a video where my first match of it I did really badly. We got hammered. I didn't know what I was doing. I was off on my own. I still don't particularly like that sort of causeway level. But that was the level I struggled with, and so I'm not going to show that one because you don't need to see me falling off ledges and stuff. However, the warehouse level I really like. It opens up in the middle, and so you sort of are battling each other, and it's a real sort of territory war. But people can get around the side of you, and you might not know it unless you die, unless you look at your Wii U gamepad or just happen to be facing that side of the screen that they've gone around the side of you and are painting all over your base, and you're stuck in the middle just trying to mop up every last little bit. But yeah, so I've been, my record on this was pretty good. I was using the machine gun and motion controls to, like I say, tilt. So essentially, right stick was using the camera or moving the camera, left stick was movement, but aiming was done. Like there was another level to the aiming, which is with the motion controls. Whilst shooting, that was fine. With the grenades, I was less keen on it. But what I did find was I was very, very vulnerable from attacks from behind, and I think that may have been lessened with controllers because I would have been strafing more, whereas I wasn't strafing. I didn't need to with the with the sort of normal controls. So. Sorry, with the motion controls. I also didn't see how to change it, but I've been told it was on the weapon select screen. At some point during this video, I'd select a different weapon, so we will see when that comes up, whether I just missed something. In terms of the weapons, I've used 3 of them. I didn't use the roller, which is what everyone else seems to be using, and I figured I was doing pretty well, and everyone else seemed to be using the roller, so. I thought I'd leave it to them. Yeah, it seemed like a decent mix. The weapons, like 2 of them are like the machine gun and the pistol are a little similar, and it's mainly the type of bomb you get with them that seems to be the differentiation between them. I prefer the bomb that comes with the pistol, but I prefer the sort of automatic rifle sort of thing, the machine gun, if you like, to the pistol. There is also a sniper rifle, that doesn't quite work like a sniper rifle. It's sorry, I'm watching this video. Some guy ducked. I can work out where he went to. I remember that bit from the fight, and at the time, just kind of, well, how did he dodge that? But anyway, one of the things I liked about the roller actually, is, sorry, the machine gun, is that when people charge at you with the roller, they're sort of done for if you're just backing off with the machine gun. They have no way of, if they turn round, they've no chance of killing you, and if they don't, then you're just going to keep shooting them. So, anyway, but you are very vulnerable to them, as they. I need to just not look at the screen, I think, whilst talking. So yeah, it's weird how the weapons work together, because you would think what is essentially a melee weapon, the roller is just basically a big paint roller that you run forward with. You would think that would be a huge disadvantage, but people seem to be favouring that, and you can paint a lot. I mean, you're not missing points with the gun; you're missing areas. So as a I guess a sort of turf war weapon, it makes sense. However, because it's if you're not going to attack each other, then yeah, great. If you are, then it's the machine gun seems to be the better weapon for me. The other gun I used was like I say, the sniper rifle. That doesn't quite work like a sniper rifle. It's more of a paint launcher, I guess. It looks like a sniper rifle, and you have to charge it up, and it fires however long you charge it is a more powerful. Okay, yeah, you can change. Sorry, I'm looking at the control screen now, so I might be a little ahead of you. I apologise. I'll try and line them up, but yeah, you can. So you can change to just normal left stick, right stick controls on the change weapon options. So the sniper rifle, like I say, it's like a big paint launcher, and I tried using it, and because I wanted to for for the purposes of this and to try it out and to see what it was like. If it was like a better sniper rifle, I think it would have been okay, but I didn't feel like I was doing any damage with it really. But you can paint in a big long line, so it's quite useful in that respect. Like you're painting ahead of you quite far without having to go down there. So with the roller, obviously you're painting in a nice straight line, but it's you doing it. You're at the front of it all the time. With the machine gun, you're firing just ahead of you, and it's a bit more, inaccurate. With the sniper rifle, if you get up high, you could just cover an area quite quickly without having to go down there, without having to deal with it. So yeah, I could see the appeal of it. I suspect that might end up being the worst weapon, but at the same time, many people will. There's always, I presume they balance these and stuff, and there will be people who are just devastating with it, even if some of the rest of us don't understand how you can get the most out of it. But that's the way these things are. That's the way it should be. I think that's a sign of a good game. Is that there's a weapon that not everyone is great with, but the people that are really good with it, and it makes you approach them differently. They become more of a problem, if you like. And the same way with a fighting game. I've never been good with the sort of wrestling grappler fighters. Virtua Fighter 2 aside, I guess. Although, even Virtua Fighter 2, I had a friend who, we were kids at this point, but he was brilliant with, I forget his name, but the traditional wrestler, it's not Jeffrey, the other guy, like orange hair, I think. Anyway, yeah, he was devastating with him. I want to say his name was Wolf. And he just would, I'd be more into the combos and stuff like that, so I'd go Pi or Lao. And when he got in close, he just would destroy me. And again, he was good with Jeffrey. He'd learned how to use those characters, and he could do a lot of damage, like just take me out very, very quickly. Yeah, that feels like that might be the equivalent weapon. What else to talk about with the game modes? So yeah, I think the video so far has only showed the warehouse level. It will change in a minute. I'm going to make sure I keep talking until it changes a little bit. There's no voice chat in the game, which I've seen this morning. I've seen people complaining about. I think IGN wrote a piece about it. I don't mind. I mean, I think, like a lot of people have said, that I don't. Do people still use voice chat in games against random people? I don't know. I mean, I don't. But that there's no option to do it with your friends is I can understand why that might be of concern for people, you know. But then my understanding is that the way it works with your friends anyway, this game is you can get on with your friends, but you can't be part of the same team. Or you might be, but it's just random. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if that's how it actually works out. But if that's the case, then it's less important that you're playing, you know, talk to your friends and stuff. You don't need party chat or anything. I don't know. I don't think it would have been the worst thing for it to be there. I can sort of understand why Nintendo have an aversion to it. I have the same aversion to it. But it would have been nice for the people who want to take this seriously to have that option. In the same way with Smash as well, but and, you know, I don't think you need it in Smash. So this, I guess, it's the same principle. Okay, so it looks like if I max this up, it's going to be on that other level. I should learn the name of it, but I didn't particularly like this level. Yeah. So I'm also using the sniper rifle as well, which you can see I don't really know what I'm doing with it, but yeah. So what else to talk about? So like I say, the in terms of the going into a level, so going into the paint. If you're in your paint, obviously you're fairly safe. If you're in the paint of your opponent, you are you will take damage. So you can dive into your opponent's paint, but it's a really bad idea. So yeah, sorry, I've just watched myself get killed with the sniper rifle because it's not very good close in, but it does have the better grenades with it though. So yeah, I don't know. I think you run out of ink quite quick with some of the weapons. That's fine once the level has been painted up a bit because you can be darting in and out. But yeah, I think early on it sort of slows things down a little. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still trying to think. What else to talk about? I guess. The game modes, we'll see what happens with it. I think, like I say, it seems to be not that kind of game in terms of multiplayer death battle and stuff. And while that's fine, I played an hour of this. Basically, the stress test lasted for an hour, so I managed to get on for an hour and enjoyed it. There was a point at about 50 minutes maybe, or 45 minutes, where I was like, right, well, I'm kind of done. Would quite happily have this end. But then it's sort of, I carried on, alright, well, one more go. So I guess that's the compliment to it. I don't know though, I mean, I don't know that I'd necessarily want to play this as much as all that, and it's out quite soon, so I don't know. I don't know if this is something that I'm gonna be buying and picking up to play a lot, but we'll see, I guess. Because it is certainly fun, and it does work as a game. It fundamentally it works. I think I'd really like a if you could have 8 people, you know, in the same room playing it. Not that that's going to happen, but it would be a good party game in that respect. I don't think it's going to happen, but if they have it set up as a sort of LAN thing anywhere, I don't know if I don't know if they'll add that, but if you could, then you know, I think that'd be not a bad way to play it. That it's 4-on-4, the levels being quite small, I think works fairly well. If the levels were much bigger, you would just be off on your own, because like I say, there's no because it's not about killing people. It's not to your benefit necessarily to stick together. It's not the worst thing because you can cover each other a bit. But if you are sticking together, then you're painting the same area, and the idea is to paint as much as possible. So if you all break off, if two of you are painting down the sides, then you know, that obviously is of benefit to you rather than like, because the video I'm watching at the minute, like I've gone off on my own. One guy's gone to the right, one guy's gone to the left. I don't know where the fourth guy went, but we're all off on different routes, and we're all painting our own little bit of the level. That's obviously gonna we're gonna paint more of the level like that. If we're you know, if we're all bunched up together, then we're just gonna be painting the same area over and over and over. So yeah. There was other stuff I wanted to talk about. I don't want to just move straight on to like the graphics and things. It is quite satisfying when you do get a kill. I will say that. I think if they made it so that you you really don't get anything for killing people, that wouldn't be of any benefit to you really, or any benefit to the game. I think there is a it feels good. You know, as terrible as that is to say, it feels good to kill things. But it does, you know, it is rewarding, and like I say, you get something for it in the game as well because they explode and you set them back. I had some issue, like I say, with the aiming, and this might be why I had issues with it, with this particular level, is because, like I say, the aiming being part of the motion controls was less than great for me, but yeah. So I guess to move on to the graphics, this isn't the highest quality video I've ever made. I should have upped the bitrate really for this. I've set it up because it's set up for Grandia Weekly basically. So I should have sorted that and changed it, but oh well. The idea was to get you a look at the game rather than, you know, show it off as best possible. It's also going to get compressed on YouTube, so it's never going to look particularly great. It looks fine when you're playing, absolutely fine. Like you'll see some jagged edges on things, particularly at the start of the mission when the camera's zoomed in a bit and stuff. But it's yeah, it's a pretty good looking game, all things told. The thing I really like about it is the paint looks thick, it looks viscous, and especially when you're painting over someone else's paint, there's a depth to it, and that is that's something I maybe wasn't expecting to see, but like I say, it works pretty well. It's maybe a little bit clustered with the characters. The characters are a little too busy, I think, but yeah. What else? It runs really, really smooth. That's the other thing. I don't think you'll see any lag on this video. I don't remember there being any when I was playing it. It was flawless. It certainly felt flawless, and it felt smooth. So I don't know if it was running at 60 frames or anything, but it felt like that, and if that was just because there was no hitching, like there was no difference between the tutorial and the game itself. Whether it's going to be like that when it launches is another matter. This is a stress test, and if the first two were maybe low end, this might have been high end, where they just went, alright, all the servers, put them all on. So I don't know, but I will say that it worked perfectly for me. I know someone else for who it didn't, but the other people I talked to about it, they all seem to have no problems whatsoever. So yeah, so like I say, it works really well. I still don't know whether or not I'm going to buy it. It seems like one of those things. If this came out at a different time of year, I'd be tempted. But as it is, and granted, this is you know, this isn't necessarily going to be the same for everyone, but I have recently got Wolfenstein: the New Order, and Witcher is out in like a week. I haven't touched Wolfenstein yet, and I would very much like to, and I'd like to play. Obviously, I'm definitely going to be playing Witcher when Witcher comes out. So I don't know where Splatoon would fit in, especially as Kirby is out as well this week. That I thought I'd bought, but apparently not, because it hasn't turned up. So and I've not had any emails saying it's on its way or anything. So apparently I didn't pre-order that, but oh well. So yeah, it's one of those where it's like it's fun, but it might run into the exact same issue I had with Smash Brothers, where I really like Smash Brothers. I think it's great, but I just never turn it on. I just never play it, and when I do, it's fun. But whenever I play something now, it's for a purpose almost. Especially we have to review stuff for the site, so that's kind of the issue for me with these kind of games, particularly when it's just a multiplayer game. I guess it's maybe more of an issue because it becomes I'm not just, it's not getting turned on anyway, and I've done an hour of single player and it's like, alright, well, I'll just play a bit of multiplayer and then I'll turn it off. I'd be turning it on to play the multiplayer, and more often than not I'm probably just going to not do that. I'm just going to turn it on and I'm not going to turn it on. I'm going to be playing the game that I've got to work through for that week, the one that I just spent 30 quid on, or the one that I got sent to review. That's the problem. But the week coming up, or the following week when Witcher launches, that's all I'm going to play is Witcher. If I manage to finish The Witcher, then who knows? But chances are, Splatoon is as much fun as I've had with it. It's maybe not going to be the way I go. But yeah, again, watching the video back, I think it's a fun game. I still don't like this map, but I do really like how thick the paint starts to look. Yeah, so what else is there to talk about? I honestly don't know. I presume there's going to be maps where it's maybe better to use a gun with, maps that are better to use the roller with. Maybe that's something that'll happen. There is, as when you're waiting for the multiplayer match to fill, there's a game on your gamepad that is like, I think it's Doodle Jump. I think that's what it is. Where the point is to get a squid as high as possible. It's not very good. I'm sure some people will say it's the greatest thing. No, it's brilliant. What you want about it's the best thing ever. It isn't. It's not very good at all. But hey, it's better than nothing. If you end up waiting for ages for a game to load, or the game itself didn't take any real time to load. It's just whilst it's trying to populate, which during the stress test, not a problem because everyone's playing it. I imagine during the first week, not a problem because everyone's playing it. Any other point, it may become more of an issue. I will say that I seem to be playing with people from all over the world. There was a lot of Japanese character names and stuff. Now that could just be Western people with Japanese character names. That happens. But I suspect they may actually be Japanese people, and this was a global thing. Everyone on at the same time, so it means it's populating from everywhere, which will help the game population. I'm not sure it will help like lag and stuff, but then like I say, I didn't really notice any. So I don't know, maybe they've got some very clever software working in terms of did that connect and all that sort of stuff, where it preempts what they think is going to happen in the game. What else was there was some stuff I was going to say. I think, like I say, the grenades I didn't think were particularly good. I think they were a little underpowered, particularly for how much paint they use. I presume that's too late for them to change, and I also think that's probably something that they've worked on. But that's something that I would change about the game personally. I also think you don't, as much as you move fairly quickly as a squid, you don't move that quickly. Particularly, you don't jump very high. It makes a big thing on the tutorial about how you jump. You can jump good distances, and you can't really. So that's something I'd change. But everything else, I mean, you can when you respawn, you can respawn on a teammate. It maybe doesn't quite do enough to spell it out for you in terms of how to do that, but that's that seems to be. Sorry, I've just noted that my screen had gone red on the game. Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot what I was talking about. It's I guess final thoughts. I guess maybe it's time for that. I like it. I think it's good. Whether or not I'll play too much more of it, certainly. I'd be up for playing more of the demo. Whether or not I'm gonna, oh yeah, it was the grenades. That's what I was gonna play about. Yeah, so I wish there was something more powerful than that in your arsenal. But then I guess maybe with the machine gun, I had something more powerful than that, and I you know. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if this is something I'd spend a lot of time with. But I do think it's a fun game. I think that anyone who is interested in it and plays it will have fun with it. I think it is good. It fundamentally is a good game. Whether or not it's for me, whether or not I'd play it enough to justify the price, I'm not entirely sure. Sorry, just having a drink of coffee. And like I say, that's ultimately the problem for me. It's the only thing that's stopping me from getting it based on this demo, because it's certainly fun, and like I say, fairly problem free. I don't know. Like I say, I think it seems worth your time. There's nothing particularly broken about it. We will see what happens with the like. I don't know much about the single player game and stuff, and but I know also the other maps. I've complained about one of the maps in this demo, and there's only two, so 50% success rate in terms of maps that I like is maybe not great. I think it's a limited number of maps as well. I think it's like 5. So maybe that's something that's going to be of concern, that how well, because again it's one of those things where it's fine if you like everything in it, then that's great. You've got nothing to worry about. But I didn't like this map, so not this map, but the water one. If the others are more fun, then that's great. It doesn't matter. But if not, then it's, that's going to be a real problem for the game in terms of how much I enjoy it. But that's something I couldn't say until I played enough of it to review, and that's obviously not. An hour with this multiplayer demo is not enough to base a review on. That wouldn't stop some, but but we're professionals. Apart from the not getting paid for this part of it. So yeah, I think James played quite a lot of it, and he's going to be doing an article about his thoughts on it. So this is really a video accompaniment to that. Like I say, I think it's a lot of fun. Sorry, again, I'm watching this. I'm watching as I get camped into my own base. And yeah, I remember this match because I remember thinking I died stupidly at this point. If I hadn't died stupidly, I wouldn't have been stuck back at my base, penned in. Someone else then gets penned in with me. as I just get rushed and rushed and rushed, and it was, I think that was the thing that ended quite close, this fight, and it's like, right, well, if I hadn't been penned back, struggling to beat these two people who just got me penned in all the time, then I'd be, you know, we might have won that game. It was the first time it felt that, let's say that close, but that pressurized. So yeah, sorry, I'm still watching it because I've tended to leave this one on until we get to the end of this video. Oh, sorry, until it gets to the end of this fight, then matching it up so you can see what I'm talking about with it. But yeah, yeah, it's like I say, I really enjoyed it. I did pretty well at it, I think. Whether or not that would carry over, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's fun. Again, I'm not sure I'd recommend it to everyone necessarily. If you want something very serious and po-faced, it's probably not for you. And if, yeah, look at this score coming up now. So, 41% against 46%. If we hadn't been penned in, we would have been in the middle covering some of their area. We'd have won, but that's the way it goes. Oh, so I came second, and that's not too bad. 8-4 death ratio. Or kill death. So yeah, that is Splatoon, based entirely on those two maps on the multiplayer. It seems good. It's a shame, I guess, in some ways the demo didn't run a little longer with a couple of modes, but over a weekend with, you know, I managed to get an hour with it. Based on that, I'd certainly fun. Whether or not it's convinced me to buy the game, I think I'd probably better off seeing more of the game, but we'll see. You know, if it wasn't for The Witcher, I think I'd definitely buy it, but Witcher's going to be eating up like an entire week, so yeah, Kirby's going to be sat on a shelf not getting played probably. So yeah, with that being the case, it seems like a waste to buy it, but yeah, so hopefully this has been of use to you. In terms of the graphics, like I say, I apologise that it's not the best representation. I do wish I'd upped the bitrate, because when the video finished I was sort of aware, like, alright, okay, this is a smaller file than I was expecting, considering I recorded about 45 minutes of footage, or 48 minutes of footage. I should have done a better job, but you know what, it's fine. At least it shows the game, and it shows that it was smooth. Like I say, no real hitches or anything. So yeah, yeah. So like I say, I think James is doing a written piece about the game, in which case I will link to that, and it will. This will be a companion piece to that, I think, because like I say, this has been a bit vague, and I think he played more of it than me. I'm sure as soon as I press stop, I will remember stuff that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, like I say, the main things for me were I think the grenades were a little underpowered. Less sure about one of the maps, but the game itself is fun. The you know, the turf war aspect of it, or the turf war mode, is a great thing to build the game around. I think it alters what you play, but there is still some reward to getting some kills, to taking people on, if only to push them back, but also, you know, it does it means that they explode, cover an area with paint. That's more effective than the grenades. That's what the grenade should be doing. But yeah, so if you like the video, then there's other stuff on this channel. Not too much Nintendo stuff, but we do have the means to capture from the Vita now, so that's good news. Not that that's a Nintendo thing, but yeah, come visit us on the site. It's bitparade.co.uk. There will be a link below, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, like it. I'm sure there's plenty of other Splatoon videos out there, people playing it. Probably not to a higher level, you know, I'm pretty good at this, but the quality of the video and the coherentness might be better than what I've provided today. So yeah, like I say, thanks for watching, and yeah, maybe see you again, yeah?